Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Anna Lindsay Show. I'm your host, you know that, Anna Lindsay. Hey, guys, I am here today with my special guest. It is, oh my goodness, Miss Yvonne Rose. Welcome to the Anna Lindsay Show.
Thank you, Anna. It's a pleasure to meet you and to be here with you finally.
Yes, ma'am. It is awesome. I am so elated to have you. You know that we have been talking, and I'm so inspired, so like so many others. But let me share with you, share with our audience who you are. For those who may not know who you are, you are the first self publishing book packaging house for African American in the nation. Not only are you the first, you're the largest as well. That
Yes, yes.
that is so profound to me. One is because I'm an aspiring book author, and I'm always intrigued. I'm intrigued about the longevity and the contributions that are made to our world, and what better contribution can you make to the world than writing and through literature.
Right.
And I'm
Well, we as part of Quality Press, which is a self-publishing wing, we work with authors like you, if you were a newbie, your first book, second book, any number of books. And we package your book, which means we do the editing if you need it. We
Mhm.
always proofread. Everyone gets proofread, no matter whether they want it or not. It's part of our service. We do the formatting, layout, get you ready for print. And then once you're ready for print, we register your copyright, we get your ISBNs, we register your Library of Congress control number, and we set you up for distribution on, of course, everyone wants to be on Amazon. So you've got Amazon, we do Barnes and Noble, all of the stores, not only in the United States, across the world. And
Yes.
self-publishers, that's what you get from our company. We do limited marketing, but we refer you to other Black companies that do marketing, and we've known them for a long time, so we trust them. Yeah.
Yes. And that is with the type of the list that you have is nonfiction, fiction, children books.
Anything. We do coffee
Anything.
table books, we do urban books, we do romance novels, we do everything. Any type of book you have, bring it on. We handle it. And I'm telling you, we work with authors in every genre. We have college professors down to incarcerated people
Oh,
who
wow.
get their books to us through family members,
Mhm.
and they're actually in lockup as published authors. And there are a lot of published authors out here now who are self-publishers, and they've done very, very well. Not necessarily coming through us, but coming through the movement. Self-publishing is a movement that started, I'll say back in around 2000, it grew the numbers. We had this, we were inspired because we used to do something called Book Expo America. And if you want to, I can back up to how the company began. Do you want me to go there?
I would love that because you know I love your story. I love your beginning. Share with us, how did you guys get started? How did you get started?
Well, my husband's name is Tony Rose, and he was in the music business, and I was in fashion and beauty. And after he sold his music catalog, he wanted to do something else. His second love was books. It was always music and books. He grew up in the projects and he couldn't wait for the bookmobile to come around.
Oh
And
yeah, I remember the bookmobile.
yeah, that's what he did, music and books. He had his little transistor under the pillow and his books. And so these are two things that he really wanted to do. And so after he sold his music catalog, he said, Yvonne, you're going to write a book. I said, no, I'm not. I don't know how to write a book. He got all the books he could find on publishing, self-publishing, read them all. And at that time, there were only white authors doing it, any of it.
Wow.
So he got them, did research, and then started out with us writing. He said we were living in LA at the time and we went to the beach and he brought the boxes and the briefcases and we just had a great time putting it all together. And the reason he wanted me to do it was because of my background, as I said, in fashion as a model. And then I used to teach at the schools, Barbizon, John Robert Powers, you name it. I was a teacher. And I also did consulting for individuals like yourself, possible media people who wanted me to come in and work with them to just give them some tips because I had a licensed makeup artist as well. So I did all of that. And then I was a fashion and beauty editor for hair care magazines primarily, as well as Class magazine, which is no longer in business, but Blacktress, Black Hair Care, different things like that, contributing editor. So I had a writing knowledge. I had knowledge to do that. So this is our flagship. First book is Modeling for You, the handbook and guide for the young aspiring Black model. And I will tell you, I had nothing to do with it until we got together and started writing. But my husband, Tony, found different photographers. He gathered pictures from all over, particularly from this photographer. Our first cover photographer was Wayne Summerlin. I have to give him kudos. And
Yes.
he supplied all the interior photos. He's in New York. He's based in New York, and we're still in touch. We started in '96 and have had a long career in the book business.
Yes.
Um,
Now that came out, and but you have a revised one as well.
yes, we have another one, a second issue. And after we did this book, Tony got in the car and drove from LA to New York, distributing books. He would go into all the Black bookstores, all of the Black media houses, like the newspapers, whatever was on his route, he would stop in. He mapped it out perfectly. And he
Wow.
took time and he shook hands with all the owners, all the publishers. I think I met him halfway in Chicago because that was a long road trip.
It is. It is. I've taken one. Yes.
Few book signings along the way, but for the most part, he just got in and he said, "This is what I'm going to do to start the business." Because back then there was no internet, there was no website, there was nothing except you and your thoughts and your will to go out there and make it happen. We had to type press releases and put them in the mail. Nowadays, everything was just social media and it's so much easier. But when we started, there was nothing except you and your automobile and your will, and you did a lot of radio and you did book signings, but you had to call them and mail books to them. As far as distribution, we had to order a minimum of 1,000 of each title.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, in order to just get distributed into a store like Barnes and Noble.
That's different.
Totally different. I mean, we're on the cusp of what was to be an explosion, but we didn't know. And then there was a show, it was an international show for books, and it was called Book Expo America. And people came from all over the world to sell books, to teach, to do everything related to the industry. And they would come to we had a booth there and they would come and say, "Well, are there any other Black companies?" And we say, "Yeah, 10 aisles over there's so-and-so, or 15 aisles." There was nothing, no collective.
Wow.
So he got a group together. There were 3 of them. Adrian and I'm trying to remember their names. Adrian told me. Anyway, business. I'll try to think of her last name.
It'll come back.
And they formed a committee and they started the African American Pavilion at Book Expo America. And Tony went and sat with all of the people in charge and convinced them that they needed to do this for us. So instead of being scattered, they gave us a whole row of booths. And
Wow.
we had to get people to come in and we had to commit to so many. So he started running around and asking and finding and bringing in bookstores. We had Brother Nadi, all of the major bookstores, Haki Madhubuti,
Mhm.
Black Press, all of them lined up. And as features, he would bring in celebrities like
Oh,
Matthew Johnson. We had Wesley Snipes was hanging out with us.
okay.
Oprah and her better half, Flavor Flav. I mean, everybody who wanted anything to do with books was
Mhm.
there. And
Wow.
they spoke to the authors and they were very influential
Mhm.
in helping the authors to understand what this business would be or could be. He had Suzanne DePass there. I mean, you name it, they all came through. They got on our stage, on our platform, and
Mhm.
then we would do seminars for the authors and really launched the movement for
Mhm.
self-publishing. And it was massive. And well, you know what it is now. Now
Yes.
that's all you can do. If you want your book out, you have to because the major publishers do not accept books now unless an agent brings it in and unless you have a really high capacity of a following. So you were able to do that at that time, walk in the door pretty much, and he would help a lot of authors do that. And a lot of them got deals, but that's changed. So
Yes.
yeah, it's really something to see.
It is, and probably experience. Speaking of Black History Month, that's definitely, right there with history and making the
Yeah,
contribution to our country, our world now, because you guys are worldwide, with
yeah,
what you do. How does
yeah.
it feel, Miss Rose?
You know, I don't even think about it anymore. It's like it's just part of being my natural who I am.
Yeah.
Um, I would be remiss in not bringing this up because my husband Tony passed away in May of 25, and it's just it's all on my shoulders now, but I can't give him enough kudos because if he hadn't had this foresight, I
Yes.
say to people now, what would I be doing? I'd be sitting in front of the TV or whatever. I
Uh-huh.
work with still in the self-publishing arena. I work with so many authors and they're just singing praises. They pass the word along. I get so many referrals.
Mhm.
Some of them do one book, some of them do seven. It just keeps growing, and I have a personal relationship, just like I'm talking to you.
Yes,
I talk
ma'am.
to them. They're all over the country, but if they want something done, they go through me first. And then I farm out whatever needs to be done to the rest of the team members. But everybody who wants a book comes to me first. And
Mhm.
I listen to their story. I help them to understand the process. I even ghostwrite books.
Mhm.
There's people now who are, wanting to do their story. They've never written a book. And I've been ghostwriting books for probably 20 years. But it's not the main thrust. It's whenever somebody needs it. But
Mhm.
the main thrust is bringing in authors who want to self-publish, who want to just get out there and get a name for themselves. Um,
And
these,
you have a heart for the undiscovered. I mean, you guys' heart is so big, and it's almost it was placed on Mr. Tony's heart, just to make a difference in the African American culture. And space here with publishing and book writing. He also had a special interest in you because he wanted to be there and support you with this, with your career.
Yeah, which was it's really a blessing. And we started out working our Amber books, and I don't think you can see this, but this is some of our catalog.
I can see some. Yes, ma'am.
These are all self-help books. And that was the first thing he wanted to do was self-help and how to.
Okay.
Then he moved into celebrity bios and music bios. And I don't know if you can see this, but
Yeah, I can see some of it. Yes, ma'am.
and he started getting authors who one particular author was Jake Brown, who did probably 12 of these books. From Prince, 50 Cent, Jay-Z.
Mm.
He was in the music business, still is, as a,
Mhm.
I think he's an engineer or something, or has his own studio. And he did a lot of our books, and Tony published them. But when it got to the point where we were doing so many and more people, well, you know the growth now. I mean,
Oh, for
we've
thousands.
we've worked with thousands, but
Mhm.
it got to be tens of thousands and 50,000.
Oh, my goodness, I love it.
We can't do that because we had to finance all these books. We did 60 books, and this was again pretty much before internet and all of that started. Uh,
Yeah.
a lot of this was done pre-website.
Mm.
Of course, when the websites and all started happening, we of course went into that. One of the books that I'm really in awe of, and it sells very well, Rick
Oh,
James.
Rick James. Okay.
Now, Rick James, most of the books had written by authors who were publishers or who wanted to do their own book. We published them.
Okay.
Rick James wrote this book himself.
Wow. Okay.
His own notes while he was in prison.
Mm.
And we got the rights to it and we published it. And it's a beautiful book and it's been selling for years. So
Wow.
there's a lot to be proud of within the
I
company.
see. There is. There is.
And and of course you can see the image award, I hope.
Let's talk about that. I'm so glad. Yes. Congratulations.
Thank you. This came to us in 2013. Tony was an NAACP Image Award winner for
Yes.
publishing the book Obama Talks Back. And usually it takes at least 6 months to do a book. This book came to us and had to meet a deadline, and we had about 2 months to publish it. It
Wow.
came to us in a manuscript form, and in publishing it, we had to, of course, go through the editing, proofreading, find pictures, do the layout, everything that was required to put the book together and get it into the voting committee at the NAACP in time.
Mm.
So it was done really quick. And once it was sent to the committee, Tony started doing his mailings and his promotions and his phone calls to let them know what this was about. And he really pushed it hard. And we got to the NAACP and won the award.
That.
So that was a miracle that it happened. And this is all about short stories that Obama wrote, or
Okay.
he got from students all over the country. And it's filtered with his story. We added his story and about his family and about him. But for the most part, it's about letters that he received from students.
Wow.
So it's
More
Obama
history.
Talks Back.
More
And
history.
yeah, more history. We've got a lot of Black history books. And one of the last books that my husband wrote was on history. It was on reparations. And He was sick at the time and he was so anxious to get this book finished. And
Mm.
thank God he did. It's the last book he did. It's one of the Black history books. This is the first one. It's African American history in the United States of America.
Oh,
And
wow.
then the second one was on reparations. Um, that is that came out a year ago. And just before he passed, he got it published. So we were very proud of that too. And he was just so happy to be able to do it.
Yes, it was on his heart. It was in his heart. And I'm sure it's like a precious read. That is amazing.
There's just a lot to do and continue to do. And we're working on books from all genres. Like I said, we do children's books, romance, urban, um, table books, workbooks, any type of book you want, we do.
What is the process of someone like myself will want to come in and have very little experience with it? They call you, go on your website. What's the process?
Well, if you go on the website for Quality Press is qualitypress.info.
Okay.
Qualitypress.com was gone, so don't do that. That was
Okay.
gone before we named it. So we got .info. And once they see our information, or like I said, most people now are just word of mouth. Oh, so and so told me to call you. But they call me, I talk to them about their book, what's it about, and then I give them the information.
Okay.
Usually, a typical book for a newcomer is about 150 pages.
Okay.
And so, for a book that size, can I talk price?
Sure. Yes, ma'am.
We call it our budget wise manuscript to book
I'm
program.
glad I'm glad you mentioned that. It was in my notes.
Mhm. And for a 150-page book, for us to do the proofreading and the formatting and layout is $800. If
Which
the
is
book is smaller, the money goes down. If it's larger, it goes up. But that's kind of an average. And we take care of not only the interior, but the cover. And like I said, we proofread it as well. It's formatted so that it does not look homemade.
okay.
And if you do, some people would do a layout. It had no headers, it had the page numbers were off, the contents
Mhm.
were off, different things weren't right, and it didn't look as professional. All of our books are very professional, and they're also very different.
And
Um,
you're getting the expertise of, if I'm not mistaken, of 200 combined experience from staff. It's like your staff combined, you're getting 200, together, your experience.
yeah,
You're getting the expertise of over
yeah.
200 people.
Yeah, we have years and years of, people who have done various things within the years. Combined, yes, we do that. And
Can't beat that. You can't beat that, and also from the heart, excuse me, I'm just like going because I'm so excited about you and what you do. You are very non-judgmental about anyone. Your heart is the person and their vision and their project.
uh-huh.
So being heart led to me, I mean, I would want to be with someone that has my best interest, but also have the heart, the way that you do and the way you guys do care about people.
Yeah, I'm very compassionate. If you have a subject or if you're uncertain about what to do, I'll spend more time with you on it. I try to coach you so that you can learn to do things yourself. Once your book is online, don't leave it. Don't just walk away and say, oh, it's up there, it's gonna
Okay.
sell.
Okay.
That doesn't happen. You know that. You have to be the forefront of your book. If you want sales, you drive them. You don't just sit back. It's like any other business. You have to promote it. Um, I'm not encouraging you to go hire a publicist and pay thousands of dollars a month
Mhm.
because you're not going to have that kind of money. But there are things you can do through social media. I get a lot of older people who may be in their 70s, 80s. I even had 90 something years old. And I say, you have grandchildren, right?
Yes,
Call
ma'am.
them and ask them to help you with social media. Go to your church, set up a table,
Mhm.
kick back some of the funds to the church. Go anywhere you can, libraries, schools, anywhere, and just be present. Get your own little tools and always hand out a business card. Don't ever be out without a book.
Oh,
You have
wow.
to always have something to show
Yes,
and
ma'am.
always be willing to talk about it because it's not going to walk out of your box into someone's hands unless you promote it. Same
Oh,
with Amazon. People think, oh, my book's up there, it's going to
mhm.
sell. Do you know how many millions of books are on Amazon?
Yes, ma'am.
If you don't tell them you have one, nobody's going to know. Nobody's going to go looking for it. Um,
Yes.
and people like you who are willing to do a podcast to help promote some of these new authors. They
Yes.
to find people like you. They need to find book clubs. They need to check with local. There aren't too many newspapers around, but there are some
Hmm.
magazines, radio, anything that they can. Just do it, but don't just sit there. So that's one of the things I tell them. If you're not willing to do that, you're not going to sell any books
Hmm.
and different things, and then how do I write it? What kind of pictures? Everything you need to know, I'm willing to share with you and
And that
help.
and that has made you guys so successful, just being intimate with people. You guys have done books, self publishing books for Tina Campbell with Mary Mary.
Oh yeah, she was,
Yeah.
and they sold so many. I mean, they came in gung ho. They had written the book. They needed it in a short while because they were getting ready to tour. And so we got them ready and they're up online. I'm sure they're probably still selling them, but
Yes.
the gate they ordered 10,000 and I got rid of them. You know,
Wow.
yeah. And can I take a glass of water? I'm
Yes,
sorry.
ma'am. Go for it. While you're doing that, and help me if I correct me if I need be if need be, but you also help publish um, for Sarah Washington, the great granddaughter of Booker T. Washington. Am I correct with that?
Actually, I ghost wrote her book. I don't, half of these people, I don't know how we met, but
Okay.
again, it's mostly referrals. But yeah, she contacted us and had a good conversation with me. And she wanted to do this book. And so it's all about her life, her family history, the value she got from her great grandfather, great great
Yes.
grandfather, how her parents grew up and how they were related. And it was a wonderful book. She didn't
Sounds
have an easy time growing up, but she became a doctor and, she did a lot of wonderful things. And I spent time a lot of times when people ghostwrite, they have their own notes. They start the book, but then they get stuck. So they'll call me and say, okay, I need a ghostwriter. And so we spend time interviewing. And because she had specific notes already, I was able to weave them in. And then we do research to see more about her family history. And of course, Booker T. Washington. And
yes.
pull it all together so that they have a beautiful book. And yeah, we've done Sarah Washington. Um, the first book that we ghost wrote was for an attorney, John Elmore, who lived in Buffalo, New York. And I went up there and sat with him and got his whole story and then added on. It was called Fighting for Your Life. In fact, I have it here on my bookcase.
Okay.
Ready for your life, the African American criminal
If
justice.
you hold it up a little more, there we go. I can see it. Yes,
African
I see
American
it.
Criminal Justice Survival Guide. And this was the very first book I wrote. Um,
Oh,
Probably needs to be redone to include the immigration and all of that.
uh-huh.
But he spent a lot of time helping young men. Not only did he talk about what to avoid, he talked about how to come to court, how
Mm,
to address the judge or whoever he was speaking to. He spent time trying not only to be the but mentoring these young people who were incarcerated. And it was really good to sit with him. But this was the very first book that I go through. And then I don't know if you know of Dorothy Pittman Hughes. She was
mm,
a community activist, and she spent many years from her college days with Gloria Steinem, and
mm,
they used to go on speaking tours together. So we did her book, of course, Wake Up and Smell the Dollars. Whose inner
mm,
city is this anyway? And she was very outspoken. She was ahead of the gentrification. She worked at City College and saw their plans. She tried to let people know what was coming and how it would interfere with their lives. She was a businesswoman up in New York. Unfortunately, Dorothy left us a couple of years ago, but she became a very dear friend. Here she
yes.
is, Gloria Steinem. They did the first fist pump that I know of in history. And they were longtime friends until the end. And
Wow.
yeah, so we've done so many historic and important books as
Yeah,
well
absolutely.
for our company, Amber Books. And the entertainment segment was Colossus books. So
Okay.
the books were written for our company specifically
Mhm,
under our imprint. But like I said, the new people who are self-publishing
mhm.
have their own books, and we do not take any percentage from them on their profits. It's all under your name.
Mm,
Anything you make is under your name, and we make sure that every one of our clients has their own publishing name. So
wow.
they come in as with no name on the back of the book. It's
Mhm.
always their own publishing company. So
Wow.
we help them brainstorm a name that would
Mhm.
be effective for their business. And thus they've started a new company. So they don't just do a book, they start a company when they come to us.
That
And
is
yeah,
amazing.
yeah,
You give so much. It's you give so much. So
yeah.
much quality in meaning. Yeah, again, right from the heart. You could just tell it's just, you
Yeah,
know,
it's important for us. And I remember when we started, we would be at the book expo, and we had all of our titles were African American this, African American that, so on and so forth. And the librarians would come by and say, well, do you just do books for African Americans? And we said, no, we do books for everyone, but African Americans are the ones we specialize in, and they're the ones who need our services. I said,
mhm.
but we'll do your book if you bring it to us, and it'll be just as good.
Yes.
So it was like, why we would get a lot of pushback from using African American in our book titles. Because if you look at our catalog, you'll see most of them say how to African American, and that's the way we started out. But who else is going to cater to us if we don't? You
It
know,
was the need. It was birthed out of a need.
yeah.
Yeah,
And
because you didn't have it. You didn't have it at first,
yeah,
like you said before.
and so many authors used to come to us after they got ripped off by
Mm,
the other companies. And
mhm.
they'll talk about how they edited their book all wrong. because they don't understand the lingo
Mhm.
and the dialect, and they wanted to keep their language in there. How we talk in the South is
Oh, I
and,
get it. Okay,
and of course they didn't want it whitewashed.
I get.
But if they got an editor from anywhere, that's what would happen because they weren't specializing or they weren't African American, even to the way the layout was done, anything, so we give you what you want, but
Mhm.
we keep it professional.
I
It's,
didn't. I didn't think about that.
yeah, yeah, there's so many aspects and things that people don't realize or recognize.
Yeah.
And and then I get horror stories. One guy spent $25,000 publishing his book, and it was, of course, with one of the white companies that supposedly was a self-publishing situation. And he said he sold 10 books.
Oh,
That, I mean, it doesn't make sense, but if you don't know and if you don't have any other options and you really want a book out, that's what you're
mhm.
gonna
Yeah, that's what we're gonna do. We're so glad that we have you. I mean, obviously, so
do.
many people. Tell me about your Ageless Beauty. What you're doing there with Ageless Beauty.
Well, that was started out from Alfred Fournet. I was looking for the book before you called me, and it's on the shelf somewhere, but I can't
Oh,
find it. I must have moved it. But yeah, that particular book came from Alfred Fournet, and that book actually got picked up by a major publishing company, and it was made later into. We did the children's book, Born Beautiful, all from this book. It was just pulled apart, and we did it in many different things. I don't know if you can see this little picture, but there's Ageless Beauty.
okay.
And it's full of tips and skincare and
Mhm.
makeup. I mean, there's a lot that's packed into 150, 200 pages. It covers every aspect of skincare and beauty that you can think of.
And that is one that you actually wrote. Is that correct?
I wrote
You're
that, I
the-
co-wrote that with Alfred Fournet.
Okay.
He wrote a book first, and then I got together with him and co-wrote his book. And we created that, and that's the book that became Born Beautiful. Tony went in to see, he would shop around different books to different companies
Okay.
and got a book, I'll call it a book deal for lack of a better word. It was an imprint deal with John Wiley and Sons. And after they did Ageless Beauty, they did three other books for older women, for young women, and for mid-range. And he had an imprint deal on behalf of Alfred Fournet to do those books with them. He also had an imprint deal with them to do some financial books with
Okay.
a gentleman named Jesse Brown, but he would get imprint deals. He got book club deals to have our books. Um, when I say book club, they have, like, you would pay a certain amount of money, and every month you would get a different book from
Oh,
these different companies. It
yes,
was,
ma'am.
yeah, it wasn't like the book club reading, it was book subscription things. Um,
Gotcha.
and he would get deals with them for specific books. And they would say, let me know when your next one's coming out, and we'll do that. And he was very into licensing
Mhm.
and working, because before self-publishing came along, this was the way he had to go to grow the company.
Yeah.
And he did real well with that, promoting books that way.
Yes, the business side of it. He was a mastermind, sounds like, when it comes to the business side of it.
He actually went into the corporate offices, Barnes and Noble and Borders, and this was way before Amazon.
Yeah.
So he would have to go to the corporate offices and he would talk to agents, and he did a lot to get us on the map. And then, like I said, is when we went to the element of self-publishing because it was just growing too much and too fast.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot went on when we started, and a lot's going on now. I mean, I'm working with one woman who was on drugs for over 30 years, and she turned her life around. Now she has her own beauty salon, and she started writing her book and got kind of stuck. So she asked me to edit it, and it's coming out in about 2 weeks. I've been working with her on it for a long time. And she's getting ready to do phase two. The first book was all about her ups and downs, mostly downs. Now she's going into the high points after she got into the program to help her recover and, get rid of that addiction. Her name's Paulette Edwards. Hopefully you'll see her book.
Yes.
Yeah, and is a gentleman who's done 7 books. The latest is about Dusab, the founder of the city of Chicago. He's
Oh.
done on Crispus Attucks. He's done a lot of history books. His name is Harun Rashid. I mean, I could name names, but there's so many, and they all come from different interests, different walks of life. A
Which
lot,
brings,
yeah, a lot of children's books too.
oh, I love it. Which brings me to the point in my thoughts towards people would think we have so many books. There's libraries full of books. Why would I want to write a book, or why do we even need another book?
I know.
I have a theory about it. And
Okay.
my thought is, each generation is supposed to produce, is supposed to give, we're supposed to make a contribution. We have our books and history, and we all respect and love, but God has given us a voice, and we speak it through literature, we speak it through podcasting. It's not a select few anymore.
That's right.
Which brings me to your quote. Your quote. Uh, do you know
We,
what I'm referring to?
we all have a story to tell.
Yes, ma'am. Will you mind saying it? Good. Will you mind
Well, that's all I can say because that's what I do if I'm promoting the business. I tell people, this is how I meet people. I just say, have you written your book yet? And they'll look at me
Oh,
like I'm crazy. What do you mean? I don't know how to write a book. Or why would I write a book? And that's when I come back with, we all have a story to tell. You want to, and for some people, it's a release. For some people, it's to inform. For some people, some people do it for a hobby.
yes.
They just want to start putting their facts down. If you journal, you've done it already.
The benefits of journaling.
My goodness, yeah. And there's a lot of authors who are doing Christian books, devotionals. There's
Yes.
nothing wrong with that either. I mean, you have a belief, you have a following, you go to church, talk your talk, and let people know what you feel is in your heart and teach them to do the same.
It
But
helps. It helps. We're here to shine our lights and share our creativity and our gifts.
it's
And
our
it's all in us, right? All of those
people.
gifts and experiences, it just really helps. And it helps, we have to share.
Exactly.
And it's so rewarding. I don't have to tell you because you've seen it, you feel it, and you experience it, just by giving people a voice
Yes.
through literature. I have your quote. You ready?
Oh, you found it, huh?
I did. We are many voices sharing one experience.
Right.
We
Right.
all have a story to tell.
Mhm.
I love the part of I mean, all of it. However, we are sharing one experience.
Right.
We're all walking this earth.
Exactly.
We feel it differently. You know, we go through it. Two people can go through the same thing, and their experience and what they feel is different, and it's all valid and valuable, because I believe that souls in life is valuable. You know,
Yes.
it's hard, you know, but there's a good, but gosh, we're so miraculous.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. I wrote that when I was asked to do a keynote, and I said, because I believe that thoroughly, but I don't get up and speak it. And most of my clients come to me from the phone, but I was asked to do a keynote, and I said, what am I going to say? And I just dragged it out of me. And it was just part of what I said and did. And of course, you saw it because I wrote it down, but I'm like, what did I say? I couldn't remember exactly. I just always remember we all have some stories to tell.
Yeah.
That's the short story of it.
I
But
Go ahead.
yeah,
I can imagine when you share, when you say that you'll go up to people where you talk, casually talk, and you say, "Have you written your story yet?" If you would
right.
say, so many people have their story inside of them and know that they do. You know, they know that they do. If you would have walked past me and said that, I would have been like, "Oh gosh, the good Lord's talking to me."
I'm
Right?
afraid. A lot of people are afraid. And then some people have their book in notes, all in a box. They write something, they put it in a box. There was one gentleman that I did a ghostwriting book for, and he had won $1 million at the casino. He was a senior citizen, won his money, and he met me. And of course, I said, oh, have you written a book? I wanted some of that $1 million. And and so he said, oh my goodness, what a great idea. So we sat down. He was the best. I had such a
Yeah, he was.
he was such a sweetheart.
I
And
bet.
he wrote all about his family because he wasn't well known. He was just a regular guy. And by the time I got through, I had dug out things from him
Mhm.
that wouldn't necessarily be considered something great, but he was the first this, he was the first that. I said, okay.
Yeah.
So it's just how he was interviewed, and I just pulled stuff out of him. And
Mhm.
then years later, when he passed, the minister was giving the service, and he said, and Buster Strickland, led by the Spirit, and he held up my book. And
Oh,
I'm sitting in the church full of people, and I wanted to jump up and say, hey, it was me. But I was composed. And then after the service, I went to introduce myself to the Reverend. And I said, I wrote the book and thank you
mhm.
so much for speaking on it. Well, a few weeks later, he called me into his office. His name was Reverend Warren Stewart. And he happened to be the person who started the Martin Luther King Day in Arizona. Arizona was one of the last states to bring it in. And so he said, I've got a box full of papers, just like I was
Mm.
saying, a box full of papers, notes. I started to write this many times. Can you help me? So,
Mm.
I mean, I wouldn't say a funeral is an opportunity, but hey.
It was. It just shows, listening to you, it just shows how meaningful your work and your contribution is and has been. Oh,
Thank you.
I am absolutely full over here. Can't you tell? I feel like I've just sat at the dinner table and, had a good meal.
We all have a story. I have many stories, but sometimes you just got to pull them out, pull them out, pull them out. And I haven't written that book yet about my story, but
Oh,
Here I go. I'm in a rolling chair, so don't.
Yes, ma'am.
This is Tony's story, the
Okay.
autobiography of an American ghetto boy,
Can you hold it up a little? There we go. Yes, ma'am. I see it now.
the
Okay.
prize to NAACP Image Award winner.
Yes,
And I'm
ma'am.
so glad he got to write his story. He was born in Roxbury at the Whittier Street and raised in the Whittier Street housing projects. And this year in May, they're going to name the corner where he grew up in his name.
Oh,
So
what an honor.
after he passed, I went to the mayor's office and everyone else, and I said, look, we've got to do something. And it came to me after he passed. I had a spiritual encounter. I'll just say it that way. Things happened
Oh,
from him, from Tony, and it told me that I needed to do this street naming because I wouldn't have thought of it. And I immediately got on the computer and Googled how to do it. And I contacted the correct politicians. And a young lady got a petition signed for me who lived down there. And it's going to happen in May. But
oh,
it's
awesome.
growing up at the projects. But this is part of his story. This is only until probably he was like 20 and went into the service. There's so much more that he never got to write about. This is intriguing, trust me. And
It is.
it's something else. But anyway, yeah,
I, I,
we all have a story, but we do need to write the history of the publishing company. A lot of people have said to me, you need to put that in a book. And I just been too busy. And see, that's no excuse because
it's
if
okay.
I would sit you down and say, look, girl, you
Yeah,
gotta
if his shoes are on the other feet, you wouldn't give no excuse there. So I'm looking forward to that. Your story of who you are, the business. We've shared just, and I'm sure just, I mean, just maybe a fraction of the all that you've lived and you as a person. And I
right.
can't wait till you write it.
I know. Thank you. Encourage me. Come on, Anna. Encourage me. Tell me to do it.
Yes, I am. Now I am. I'm so honored to have you as my friend and my mentor here.
Thank you. And
It
I
is.
want to give you a big hug, and I can't.
I know, but soon,
You'll
very soon.
ever get out my way.
Yes, ma'am. We're
I'm
gonna make
based, I
gonna
can
make.
tell you I'm based in Phoenix, and most of my business, 99.9%, is done by phone. But I do have clients in Phoenix, of course, and my hometown, Boston. Those are my two busiest points. But we're everywhere, all over the country. I don't care where you live. We've even worked a book in the UK. I ghostwrote wrote a book for a guy in the UK. He was a doo-wop singer. And back in the day, and he wanted me to do his book. So it doesn't matter where you live, I will help you. But
Yes.
if you come out here, I would love to meet you for
Oh
sure.
my goodness, we're gonna make that happen. That connection's already there. I love what I do because I get a chance to be privy to meet some such amazing people, and I am so glad that you and I have connected.
Thank
I
you so
cherish
much.
it. I
I
cherish this
am,
moment, and I cherish our relationship.
well, I have to thank John Blassingame
Yes, we do. He is amazing.
forever, forever.
Yes, you remember I was a fly on the wall with you guys in your conversation. I was like, oh my goodness, this is so
Oh
much
yeah,
fun listening.
we have quite a history, definitely. My daughter was in one of his design competitions and she won a trip to Milan from being the #1 designer. So
Yes.
that's another story, but I can't tell it all here. Maybe
Yeah,
you'll have her on your show.
have her on the show. Have you back on the show. I know, he's part of our magazine, the Oasis Matage magazine. He is our associate publisher, which we are honored. Again, I just was just thrilled listening to you guys.
Thank you so much. And I'd be remiss if I didn't say her name. Therese Fleetwood. Therese Fleetwood is her name.
And
The
that's
des-
your daughter's name, and she's doing amazing things, isn't
yeah,
she?
yeah,
What?
she is. She's doing textile
Uh-huh.
coats. And
Fashion. Co-
they they have a religious theme and they're all hand sewn.
oh,
You'll see. We'll make sure John and you see what she's doing, but she is in museums now. She's beginning to curate her business in museums. She has a book on styling. She used to be a wedding designer. She also did Pezula, which is Afrocentric. She was
mm.
one of the first in the movement. She dressed Queen Latifah and Angela Bassett and
Ooh.
Vogue at the Grammys when they wore all those Afrocentric clothes. Those were hers. So she has a long history too. But
Okay.
this,
There was
uh,
another as well. It was a movie, Coming to America,
oh yeah, she
right?
did some of the background sewing. Yes, yes. So she's been very busy.
I
And
love that.
yeah, so that's one of my proteges in a way.
I
But there are others, and I'm not bringing them all into the loop.
it's okay. It's okay, but she's important. She's important. I'm glad you shared the
Yeah,
information, shared her with us. And
yeah, I
yes,
can
I would
do it.
love to have her. Love to
Yeah,
speak with her. I
sure.
love fashion. We was just with Mr. Blassingame and Miss Blassingame at the um, New York Fashion Week. They're at Runway
Oh,
7. We were all together this weekend or last
that's
weekend.
recent. Yeah. Oh, that's
Had a
nice.
blast. So fashion, yes, you know how we feel about that. And you and I with the modeling, with so much in common.
Oh,
Whew,
yeah.
we can go on and on, can't we? Is
No.
there
Well,
anything else you would like to share?
I don't know. Did I leave anything out? You have all my notes.
I know, right? Exactly. Exactly. If we talked about everything a lot, but I cannot wait to have our next conversation. So, audience, you heard it. We'll be back. We'll be back with more to come.
Thank you so much, Anna, for having me.
You're
I
welcome.
appreciate it.
Thank you. It was a pleasure. Guys, you heard it.
Oh, my website,
Yes.
well, you don't need the W's, amberbooks.com, amberbookspublishing.com, qualitypress.info, and I can give my phone number, it's okay,
Okay.
602-743-7426. My email is amberbks@aol.com. Get in
Love
touch.
it.
I'll
All
help
right.
if you want to write a book, publish a book, or whatever.
I love it. I love it. I'm
Buy a
taking
book.
notes.
We sell plenty of books. Buy a book too.
Yes, by all means, buy a book.
Buy
I
a book.
absolutely love it. I'm taking notes of, the type of businesswoman I want to be, and I'm just modeling you right now with that. So thank you.
So welcome.
All right. Okay, audience. This has been the Anna Lindsay Show. And I am always bringing you meaningful conversation just like this one with Miss Yvonne Rose. Again, thank you, Miss Rose.
Thank
And
you.
we'll talk soon. Have a good
Okay.
one, a great one.
You as well. You as well.
All right. Bye.
Bye.